Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today for another class, live cooking demo. Today we are in a very special place. As you can see, look around me, look at this. Nothing but whatever Mother Nature has created. We are the Dallas Arboretum, and we are extremely happy and extremely excited to be over here for me particularly, because obviously coming from Sicily, some of my culture that I brought to the United States is here, which is basically the way the mankind works the land and the way the mankind takes care of the gardens. Now, having said that, let me introduce you to my company. So on my left, your right, we have Dave, which is the Vice President of Gardens over at the Arboretum.
That's right, Chef.
Okay. On my right, we have Chef Ryan, which is the chef of Cibo Divino Marketplace, which is us. So I want to start up actually with Dave, and because I walk around this place and I see nothing but beauty. I mean, this place is really taking care of us. The garden is spectacular. I have direct feeling because we are all about farm to table, and because I love wine so much, there is nothing more than farm to table and a glass of wine. I mean, probably the vines are the most ancient plants, but I would like to tell our audience, how do you take care of this? I mean, how much does it take, really? How many hours does it take for you to take care of this splendid place?
Well, great question. Thank you, Chef. We're pleased that you're here tonight in this beautiful place. And it is truly like a garden sanctuary here at the Dallas Arboretum. We're so pleased to be able to provide this beautiful setting for people from all over North Texas, from all over the world actually, that come to visit. There's 66 acres here. Meticulously maintained gardens. It's a series of garden rooms, one connected to another throughout this space. There's 2 historic homes on the property that actually were the basis for having this much land available, because one of the homes, the DeGoria Estate, had 44 acres, and the Camp Estate had 22, which have formed the property lines for the Dallas Arboretum. It's about 50 full-time workers that work to maintain the grounds, so a little less than 1 person per acre, if you want to think of it that way from a farm standpoint. Really taking care of the plants. We're a display garden, so we change seasonally, so up to 4 changes of flowers per bed per year as we move through the seasons. Of course, we're in a tasteful place, our food and herb garden right now, and these beds change throughout the year, multiple times, and highlight the different seasons of vegetable growing and herbs. So if you really want to know what grows when in terms of vegetable gardens, you can come here to Tasteful Place and get some really good ideas from our cottager beds here throughout this particular garden.
This is fantastic, really. It is really fantastic. And I have to tell you, you are looking at it from a telephone perspective. Being here is just amazing. So Chef Ryan is the one that takes care of our vegetable garden, where we provide the food for Cibo Divino. And he's also involved in the farm to table program. Ryan, do you have any questions for Dave? Anything you want to find out about this gorgeous place?
Absolutely. Congratulations on such a beautiful place. I'm so happy to be here, by the way. Being a farmer, one thing I did want to ask, you have so many variety. I don't even know if you could put a number on how many variety of different plants. And the biggest thing for me is that each plant is a living thing, and it requires a certain food. So that requires different soils. Do you particularly do different soil compositions for your different plants and create all this atmosphere?
Well, we do. Primarily everything is a really good organic kind of composted material. We do actually like recycle and compost all plant waste from the Arboretum. Okay. Gets recycled, composted, and we like to joke in a way that we pay this company to come take away all our leftover plant waste, and then we buy it back as soil. So we pay both ways. We don't have the amount of real estate here to do composting on site in the way that they can do there with that company. But we want to make sure we don't waste anything, and that gets used and is added back to the beds. And we are growing everything here in a Tasteful Place using organic methods as well. to be really clean and sustainable. So it takes a little bit of work, as you know, when you're doing that. You have to look out for those little pest problems, because most cases you're picking things off by hand if you see them. But we have a good staff that can do that. We really want to show best practices of how to grow and let people know that there can be success with growing vegetables. A lot of people think, well, it's too hard to grow vegetables here in North Texas, but it's really not. So many good things you can grow and have that fresh gardening. I know during this past summer, a lot of people really got interested in gardening while everybody was at home. There was a huge uptick in interest. It was already a big interest, but it really grew through the spring and summer with people being interested in that. So hopefully that'll sustain itself, and people will always be back growing their own food in their backyard or wherever they have land.
I have a question actually, and I don't know because I didn't follow it lately. But do you have any classes here for gardening, or if you don't, are you planning on having some?
Well, we do actually,
you do?
And
okay.
Now that we're able to start having some more public events as we open back up, we'll be having classes. In fact, in October, I'll be doing a series of 3 different classes on plants here in a tasteful place that people can sign up for through our public events. You can see that on our website. And we have done a number of things over the years related to that. We do a lot of cooking classes and demonstrations here at a tasteful place, as well as gardening classes over time.
And we might want to tell everybody that the Dallas Arboretum is 100% open. So come on in anytime. One question that I get asked all the time, and I'm going to relate to you to that. How does this love and passion of gardening was born in your life?
Oh, that was a great question.
How did you get drawn from it?
Well, I think love of gardening, I think, is genetic. You're born with it, usually from a parent or grandparent. And in my case, my grandparents loved to garden. My grandmother on my mother's side loved to garden. I think I got that from all of them. And even my parents loved to garden. So growing up, we had this large family garden at my father's parents' house. They were people that basically lived through the season off the land. They weren't very, well, let's just put it, I guess I'll just say they were very poor. And so their garden was sustained them, and being able to experience that as a child and see how you work through each season and put food away for later was very interesting to me, and really was a passion. And so to this day, while I like gardening, with ornamental plants and flowers, my real passion is food gardening. I just love it.
But having a backyard like this is fantastic, but coming to work every day in an amazing place like this is even better.
That's true.
I mean, this is your job, so I mean,
I leave my little paradise in my
deal.
backyard, and I come to this big paradise every day to go to work. Yeah, so
it's a
pretty good
really.
deal for me. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm very jealous. Well, let's toast to that, by the way, which is something we should have done at the beginning. We are toasting with some white wine. I'm having a Terre di Chieti. This is a wonderful Pecorino from Abruzzi. Amazing wine. They're both drinking Sicilian Nero d'Avola.
That's very good.
That carries my last name, Puleo, and it's excellent. Yeah, very, very nice wines. So, having said that, maybe you can, since you have so many things in common with Chef Ryan, maybe you want to walk around and show the chef a little bit what's going on in this gorgeous garden at the Dallas Arboretum. I am probably going to go back in the kitchen and go finish doing my prep so I can start my cooking demo in 20 minutes. So
Great.
Dave, thank you very much
Chef.
again.
Thank you so much for
Great
being here.
informations.
Yes.
You have any problems here, you can get in touch with this guy. He knows everything about gardening, and you can tell. In a few minutes you're going to see what splendid things he's been doing around here. And he keeps himself busy and keeps his hands dirty.
That's
So
right.
David, thank you very
Chef.
much for being here. Ryan, go ahead and take a walk with him, and I'll get back in the kitchen and I'll see you later. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef.
Enjoy.
Well, in fact, if you want to keep up and learn about plants, you can follow the Dallas Arboretum on Instagram and Facebook. Like the Dallas Arboretum, and you'll pick up all our videos. I do a plant video every day that gets posted on Instagram and Facebook, so you can kind of follow and learn about what's going on and maybe get some good ideas from following that. Ryan, this garden opened right at 3 years ago, so this is one of our newer spaces. We had planned and worked on trying to create this space for many, many years, probably 10 years in the planning. We didn't want to just have a place where we demonstrated how to grow vegetables and herbs, but we wanted to have a place where we could actually harvest and then prepare the things that we grew here. So that's why we have the Charlotte and Donald Test Pavilion where we can do the cooking demonstration. So we wanted to combine that because it's not just about growing, but it's also about how to harvest and then prepare and cook meals too, because I think that's what makes the magic of a garden is bringing it inside and the family working together to prepare a meal with something that they actually grew outside.
Absolutely, I completely agree. The architecture and the layout and everything is, I'm trying to emulate some of this at our farm. So the stuff I do, we do almost famous organics for Cittadino. And I tell you, like you said, having it in the garden fresh and being able to eat it, as simple as just pulling a carrot out of the ground, washing it, and giving it to my son, and my son freaking out, saying this is the best carrot I've ever eaten. I said, well, of course, it was growing 15 seconds ago, so
they really
it's
are.
A fresh thing.
They may not be the prettiest ones, but they're always the best.
The best tasting, absolutely. That's just with food as well. I mean, having the freshest ingredients, and what better than seeing the ingredients grow, seeing the whole process, and going through this. Well, tell me what you have here.
Let's take a look. Let's move on up. We just did a change. We'd had a huge display of different tomato varieties here all summer, and they came out a couple weeks ago, and we put in kind of a late summer crop. We've got okra and peppers, squash, a lot of the still warm season. We'll do another change towards late October where we'll come in with our cool season crops and start transitioning to those particular plants as well. So it's ever changing, but always interesting. And we do use all the produce. Anything that we harvest here, we get to use either in the restaurants or through some of our cooking demonstrations.
I see you have pecan shells. This is an old trick I haven't seen in a while, actually.
We do. We use them pretty much throughout the garden. We like pecan shell because it's a great color of mulch, and it also is really high in tannic acid, so you don't have any insect problems with pecan shells. And a lot of cases where we're planting our seasonal color, the plants are really close together, and a lot of the other types of mulch kind of pile on top of the plants. Well, the pecan shell just sprinkles right through, so it's a lot less work if we're using it. The only thing I could say, there's only one thing that maybe is the downside of pecan shells. You don't want to walk barefoot on these pecan shells. It's a little tricky.
Absolutely.
Well, let's take a look out. We've got a great view here. This is our Three Sisters Lagoon overlook. So when we opened the Taste of Place, we actually created another garden space down below. It was kind of a complimentary view from up here. And this is the lagoon and woodland area. But again, this opened with the Arboretum about 3 years ago. But great place to come and picnic, or kind of quiet place to sit and read a book or just relax by the fountain.
This is all open to the public as well?
This is. So you have to go back around and come down to get down to that lower elevation, but a really nice way to view. And with this particular overlook pavilion here, people can sit. We have high-speed internet Wi-Fi here, so people can do work and enjoy the garden at the same time. So this is going to become a popular space and a good event space too here for things after hours.
This is beautiful. I gotta say, I think that you copied my backyard here. We might have to file some copyright infringement. This looks exactly like my backyard.
Well, that's good. If this is your backyard, you're doing good. That's right.
No, not at all. But this is a quite a dream. This would be some place to sit down and relax and, I mean, get creative. I can't understand any way that cannot be creative here. If you can't get creative in a space like this, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
This is such a beautiful place. I do commend your efforts.
Well, and I'll say, talking about creativity, in just a couple of weeks, our annual Autumn at the Arboretum Festival kicks off, and we're going to have the pumpkins like never before. All the pumpkins are rolling in. In fact, next Tuesday, the first truck gets here, so I think it's September the 19th, I believe. Saturday, the third Saturday, it'll be the opening day for the Pumpkin Festival, so people can put that on the calendar. It's quite a display. A lot of those are cool edibles too, so I always like to highlight that. They're not just for looking at. A lot of them are really good to eat as well.
Absolutely. So I guess we're going to go ahead and finish this up. We'll walk back to the gardens. I got to get back in the kitchen and help Daniele get ready for the cooking demo. Appreciate you being here, and we're going to get going. Thank you again for inviting me.
Thanks, Chef Ryan. Yes.
Being here and doing this wonderful place. And I implore anybody in the Dallas area, anybody in Texas or around the world, like you said, come visit. You have to see this. There's nothing that you won't want to see here. Cheers.